guys, welcome back to the fish room, and I can't wait to show you what we've got going on. So here in the fish room, I've got over 30 tanks running and full of fish. That is including my breeding setups and baby fish as well. I definitely can't wait to show you what's going on. Today we're going to focus on my Plecos and Corys, and I want to show you a little bit more about my water change system as well. So let's get started. I'll show you how to do a water change in this room. Our setup's pretty cool. I'm really proud of it. Mr. Finfinity set it up for me and it makes the job so much easier. So this tank here has my stir-by corridors and my black metal guppies. Now these guys definitely need a water change today, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you my process. So I have this hook here that I got down at New Life Keysborough in Melbourne. So if you're in Melbourne, definitely check them out. They are one of the best stores on this side. So definitely check them out. But basically all I'm going to do is hook that in there. I've marked on this tank 25%. Start my siphon up and I'm going to drain it 25%. So now our tank has been drained. I've done to 25%. I'm going to use our reservoir here that I have. Now this reservoir is 220 litres and we've already dosed it with our prime to remove any chlorine and chloramine and our KH and GH. This ensures that our water parameters remain stable throughout all of our tanks. So within this barrel, I actually have a water pump that is pumping the water up through this hose and into an irrigation system that we have set up throughout this rack. This means that I can pump water to every individual tank that we have set up along this wall. So with that, I turn it on. Water is pumping through now. So then I can come back to our tank. We can turn this tap and refill our tank. That's filled back up to the fill line and my water change is done. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys was my Plecos. So I say my Plecos, but they're actually Mr. Finfinity's Plecos. I still love them though. So this is the red tank. I do currently have some black metal male guppies in here just to grow out. These guys have been doing really well and my male is on eggs. I won't go too much into detail with these guys because I have shown them in a previous Fishroom tour video, but they're doing well. Same here with our peppermints. These guys are also doing very well and you can see that we actually have more peppermints in there than we did the first filming of this tank. We have had a couple of clutches since. They're doing really well. Dad doesn't move much. That's pretty much him. Next I have the L134s or the leopard frog Plecos. I don't think you can see them because these guys are shy as shy can be. So I went back at night and got you some B-roll of this beautiful fish. Now I did do a video on this one. It was Mystery L Pleco. So if you want to see the tank build for these fish and some more B-roll of them and just to see how beautiful they are, I definitely recommend checking out that video. So I really did want to show you these guys. Now these are my common long fin Plecos. I didn't always want to get long fin common Plecos, but I saw them and had this idea of growing them out and breeding them, seeing that they are very, very popular. And I just sort of fell in love because they are absolutely beautiful. Something that I do want to note with our long fins, we ended up having to put some mesh over the top of that sponge filter because these guys like to get in there and then they got caught and couldn't get out. So if you do go ahead with a long fin Pleco, I highly recommend covering that filter. King Tiger Plecos or L333s. God, I love these fish. They are so beautiful. Now we started off, I did do a video recently on them, so I do recommend jumping back and having a look at that on how I set the tank up. In that video, we started with 3. We now have 6 and they are all like just having a great time. So they're really, really happy in here. You can see my little emerald green rose borers are in there growing out. Now these guys will be pulled out, and I think I'll replace them with some ember tetras just to have them as dither fish. And I had worked out that my little breeder box fit in there, so I should be able to breed the ember tetras as well. But I do love these plecos, and I think that they are stunning, and I absolutely can't wait to do a breeding video on them once I get them going. Those are my current pleco setups that I've got going on. However, if you hadn't already noticed, I do have some empty tanks up there with some numbers written on them. What we are planning on doing, and I'm gonna probably do videos on these in the future. Let me know if you want to see those. This tank here, I have reserved for some L201s, which are your Orinoco Angel Plecos. They are gorgeous. They're sort of like the peppermint Plecos, but with big spots on them. So black fish and big white spots. I am planning on doing a little bit more of like biosystem, ecosystem style tanks for these plecos. So really looking into where they've come from and their habitats, using that as inspiration to create these aquascapes. So those are some exciting videos that are coming up. So the first one is the L201s, then L397s. I might end up doing this one first. I'm not 100% sure because these guys are orange with like black stripes on them, or black with orange stripes on them, depending on what you think. I really enjoy these fish. They are wood eaters, so you put driftwood and things in the tank for them to munch on, and you get to watch that driftwood get smaller and smaller and smaller. That one's definitely coming up. And finally, L236s. These are the cracked zebra plecos. I've got a colony on the way, so I put my name down for it, and it's actually a birthday present for Mr. Finfinity. Shh, don't tell him. I'm very excited because these guys are beautiful fish. So that's gonna hopefully fill up my top row for my plecos. Now the reason that I've got them on the top row there is because I want them to sit a little bit higher in heat than everywhere else. The top row tends to be 1, 2, 3 degrees, a little bit hotter than your bottom tanks. So that's why I've got them up there. It also means that as I'm walking past any foot traffic that comes through, it's not really going to bother them because they are overhead. So that's my plecos. I'm going to jump in and show you guys some Corydoras. Now you've definitely seen these guys before, but these are our Aspidoras ballotus. I've shown them in a few of my videos, especially around the CPDs that you can see in this tank. We've had babies and babies and babies. So you can actually see in there some smaller Aspidoras. Now these guys are a close cousin to the Corydora, but they work pretty much the same. They're not particularly different. I really enjoy feeding these guys because they actually do perform when they're being fed. So they are a fun one. I do recommend them to people if you can find them. They are very easy to keep, very hardy. I recommend. Very nice fish. Next, which you saw on the water change, I have our stir-by Corys. I think these fish are so pretty. They've got these beautiful orange fins, and they're quite a chunky little fish, which is very satisfying to see swimming around the aquarium. Now, to breed these guys, you do have to keep them at a bit of a higher temperature. We keep them at 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. But they have been breeding for us, and yeah, very healthy fish. These guys are my pygmy Corydoras. Now, I think a lot of people have seen that video where I set this tank up. This is it now. It's a little messy, but that's okay, because if you look real close, these guys have bred for me. And you can see all of the eggs stuck along the glass. They are extremely happy fish. In the video that I posted a few months ago, I did have some guppies in here. I was growing the pygmies out, so I wasn't too worried about them. I actually recently removed them, maybe about a month ago now. And since I've removed them, I've had about 4 spawns of these guys that I have seen. They might have spawned more, but I don't know. I don't remove the eggs from this tank. I leave them here. I see them hatch. The babies are very, very small. They're almost like see-through, and I probably won't see any for a good month, but they have definitely spawned a few times and they have definitely hatched out. That's awesome. That means that my tank has definitely worked and is a good place to breed my pygmy corridors. So the last thing that I wanted to update you guys on was the spooky forest. I didn't get to put my shrimp in there of the video when I did the video because the tank decided that it wasn't going to cycle, which is, look, it happens sometimes. We have to be patient. However, the very next day the tank was cycled. I've let it sit for a while, let it go through the motions, made sure that everything was stable, and I have now been drip acclimating my black cherry shrimp. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to release them in this tank. Alright guys, thanks for coming and having a look at my fish room. Hope you enjoyed what I've got going on, and I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do in the future. Hope to see you on the next video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys have been doing with your fish rooms and your tanks. And I'll catch you on the next one.